Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Today we're checking out dating talk in the UK.
Let me guess, you thought French was the most romantic language there was, right?
Kate.
Wrong. Turns out us Brits have got a language of love to call our own. And much like Benedict Cumberbatch singing a One Direction song while stroking a kitten, it's pretty hard to resist.
I always thought German was pretty romantic. Steck deine Finger in mich. Benedict Cumberbatch singing a One Direction song while stroking a kitten. That's like the least attractive thing.
Dating can be confusing at the best of times. When should I text?
When should you text? Depends on how the date went, I think. The next day could be considered too, what's the word, suffocating? Maybe 2 days later would be good. If you enjoyed your date, most blogs recommend texting as soon as you want to afterwards. If you want, you can impose a rule to text within the first 24 to 48 hours, or you can go with your instincts and text them whenever it feels right for you. Yeah, that falls in line with what I was saying, I guess. You know, whenever you make a connection with someone, we like to think that we transcend the game, but you never transcend the game. The game is always going, you know? As close as you feel to a person, you feel like you've made a connection. You feel like you're like these weird little stupid dating things don't matter, but they do. They do matter. And that's unfortunate. We like to, it's not instinctual. I mean, it is, but it's also not. We overthink it too much, but at the same time, it does matter.
Is it okay to hold hands on the first date?
Is it okay to hold hands on the first date, Kate? If someone tried to hold my hand on a first date, I would probably pull away. When you're still in the getting to know each other phase, or if you're meeting in person for the first time, it is generally more prudent to keep your hands to yourself, Kate. You might catch the other person off guard. Holding hands may feel forced. That's not normal, Kate. I'm going to say it's not okay. I mean, it's okay to hold hands on a first date, but you might freak the other person out, you know? That's a little too much. Kate.
At what point do you reveal the shrine you've made from strands of their hair that you've collected from the shower for the past 8 years? The answer to that last one, by the way, is never. It didn't go down well. Sorry, Nigel.
Kate, who's Nigel? There's a lot of Nigels. You've been collecting his hair for 8 years, Kate? So do you live with Nigel and you're collecting his hair from the shower, or do you not live with Nigel and you've been going to Nigel's home and collecting hair from his bathroom on the sly? Kate, we might need to have an intervention. Kate is a fascinating creature. You are, Kate. You're just a well of human experience, aren't you?
But on top of all that usual stuff, Americans also have to get their heads around our often confusing dating terminology. Careful now, you might start to blush. If you think someone is hot or good looking, you can say that they are fit. Whether or not they're actually in good physical shape doesn't really come into it. It simply boils down to finding them attractive. Elizabeth Bennet thought Mr. Darcy was proper fit. He is well buff, she whispered to herself. Buff is a word that has the same meaning as fit. The American equivalent would be to call someone a hottie. Another more recent phrase that's becoming more and more popular is bang tidy, which has been popularised by the British fictional comedy character Keith Lemon, and is usually specific to hot females. Mr. Darcy glanced over at Miss Bennet and exclaimed, "She is bang tidy." Yes, you couldn't deny that these two fancied the pants off each other.
Keith Lemon. Lee Isaac Francis, who is often known by the name of character he plays. Keith Lemon is an English television presenter, actor, writer, and comedian. Bang tidy. Bang tidy. Of exceptionally good quality. Kate, you're kind of
outside of the UK, fancy is generally applied to swanky hotels, Fabergé eggs, and Iggy Azalea songs. But over here, to fancy someone means to be attracted to them. During the 16th century, the word fantasy started to take on the meaning of desire and was shortened to fancy. So if you desired someone, you would say you fancied them.
That also sounds like one of those Cockney rhyming slang things. Fantasy becomes fancy. Right, Kate? Kate, you're being tidy. I fancy you.
So once you've established that someone is fit and you're pretty sure
Snogging.
you fancy them, you'll probably want to try and snog them. Or as you say in America, make out with them. Snogging is the
Make
best
out?
word. I'm going to say it again.
Kate, I love when you do an American accent, and I have to hear that again.
Make out with them. Snogging is the best word.
Cute.
I'm going to say it again. Snogging.
Snogging.
No one really knows where the word snog came from, although most dictionaries say it came about in the 1950s. Much like making out, snogging should only be used in a romantic context. It is not the same as a peck on the cheek, and you certainly wouldn't go around snogging your relatives. Unless that's something you're into. If you're a Harry Potter fan, then you may have noticed
Kate.
Ron and Harry using the word on several occasions when talking about kissing girls. Honestly, they grow up so fast. 1 minute they're innocently playing with their wands, and the next, snogging. We also call it tonsil tennis for obvious reasons.
Snogging. Kind of a gross word, Kate. Yeah, it's gross. Snogging. Kiss and cares amorously. The pair were snogging on the sofa. To kiss and cuddle. The act of kissing and cuddling. It sounds like flogging is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Flogging Molly. There's a band. I'm going to start a band called Snogging Molly. What do you think of that, Kate? You don't like that idea?
Let's say you're out at a bar, pub, or club with the specific goal
Pulling?
of chatting someone up and hoping to get lucky. Well, we often call this being out on the pull. To pull someone can generally mean anything from snogging to a bit of fooling around, and is only really used when you're trying to seduce someone new or who you're not already romantically involved with.
Okay.
So you wouldn't really say, I want to pull my boyfriend. That just sounds weird. But you can snog him until your heart's content. Just go and do it behind the bike shed.
I know you're married, see the ring on your finger, and yet you go to your backyard and fool around with people behind the shed. Is that a common thing for you? I feel so cheap. There were some articles of clothing behind the bike shed, and now it makes sense, Kate. I feel undervalued. I feel used. Kate, I think you have a problem. No, it's okay. I mean, I'm okay, actually. I'm worried about you. I hope you're using protection. I hope you've discussed your bike shed snogging with your husband, because, I mean, it's just not right, to go behind his back, literally, behind the bike shed. And who is Nigel again? Like, what, 8 years of collecting his hair? And you built a shrine to him? Kate, I'm concerned about you. Where's this leading? I hope you've been tested, I care about you. Those urges are natural urges, but you kind of need to just check in with yourself in the heat of the moment and make sure that you're doing the right thing. Right, Kate? All right.
Copping off is another broad term which can mean anything from a simple snog to a bit of hanky-panky.
Okay.
Heavy petting. Basically the sort of thing they have posters telling you not to do at swimming pools.
Will patrons kindly refrain? This is very British. If this was in America, it would just say, do not, or no. Will patrons kindly refrain from running, pushing, acrobatics, or gymnastics, shouting, petting? Petting is what she's referring to. Kate, you need to put this sign up behind your bike shed.
Copping off is the UK equivalent of anything around second and third base, and its broad meaning can be a tad confusing when you want to get the gossip on how your friend's date went, but equally it means you don't have to divulge too many details.
Copping off sounds very explicit, Kate. It sounds like the end of a snogging to me. But you're saying it's a broad term? Oh, it means a home run. Apparently, that's what this says. Kate, I just think you need to be more upfront with people about when you're copping off and who you're copping off with. And Nigel, what happened to Nigel? Like 8 years, what? You can't just stop loving someone, Kate. Like, what happened with Nigel?
Now, when two people love each other very much and they're past the realms of copping off with each other, then there's only one thing left to do. Shag. For a seemingly reserved nation, the Brits have a lot of words for, how shall I put this? Spending the night together? Yep, shagging, bonking, or getting your leg over are what you Americans might call a home run.
Getting your
Also,
leg over?
let's say you found someone super fit and you wanted to go all the way with them. You might describe them as being totally shaggable, or as Austin Powers put it, you're very shagadelic, baby. Except we don't really say that, like, ever. Have you come across any crazy British dating words? Let us know in the comments. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter and like our Facebook page too.
Shagging? So shagging is different from copping off. In baseball, shagging means chase or catch fly balls for practice. You run down the field and hit a few baseballs and shag a few fly balls. Shag a few fly balls. Shagging. See shag. 1. To have SI with. 2. To exhaust, tire. 3. An act of SI. Though still likely to cause offense to more conservative people, this word has lost a lot of its shock value. It seems to have a jocular, relaxed connotation, which most of the other words in the field do not. No doubt, its acceptability has been accelerated by its use in the title of an Austin Powers film of 1999. Interestingly, though, advertisements for the film caused a large number of complaints to the British Advertising Standards Authority. They were not upheld. Wow. So it was kind of a bad word before Austin Powers came around. Great work, Mike.
Now, with all this talk of dating, you're probably feeling a bit hot under the collar, so why not cool off with some of our other Anglophenia episodes? Thanks for watching. This one is so good, you'll want to snog it. Ooh, this one has a happy ending. Oh, you'll definitely fancy this one. You're gonna love that one.
Well, Kate, this has been enlightening. I have a better idea of where we stand. I have a better idea of you and your interests / obsessions. Still would love to hear about Nigel. I need to break it to you that I'm a little freaked out by the 8 years of collecting hair and building a shrine to Nigel. I'm a little freaked out about who in the world is Nigel. Who is Nigel? Kate, when you fancy someone, it's important to approach the issue delicately if you really want to have a chance with them, because if you come on too strong or too serious too soon, it can scare people, right? It can be scary to the other person because they don't know how obsessive you can be, or if not, you make shrines with hair. What else do you make shrines with? Fingernail clippings, sebum, poop. Kate, how far does that go? What else of Nigel's do you have? I'm conflicted now, Kate. I'm torn. Because I like you, but you're freaking me out a little bit. I'm a little bit scared of you. Yeah, it's freaking me out, I have to say. Anyway, I think it's better if we only see each other when we're recording these videos, because I'm just feeling a little suffocated right now. It's not you, it's me. I feel suffocated by you. And I'm a little freaked out about the shrine. So maybe it's better if we just stay friends. This was an enlightening video. We learned a lot about Kate. But thank you all for watching this with me, and I'll see you next time. Later.